Should we start?
Yeah.
Let's start. Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey. What's up, YouTube?
Hey.
And
YouTube.
YouTube.
And if you're not watching us on YouTube, then hopefully you're still listening to us
on Spotify
or one of your other favorite streaming platforms. And who are we?
Two
Rambling
sisters. I am a host, Michaela.
And I'm the other host, Ashley. And we are here just enjoying another day of recording together.
We are.
Yeah.
It's been a good day. Nothing out of the ordinary.
It definitely today we're still in the process of moving. So today I took a half day so that I could continue to pack up the house, which has just been excruciating. And now I'm kicking myself in the butt from a few of the other moves that we had as children, to where I'm like, I should have just never kept that stuff in the first place. Like, but again, when I opened up some of the totes today, there are still things that just have way too much sentimental value to get rid of. Like, and I still feel like they're not mine. Some of the things that are like mom's China figurines and things like that, where I'm like, nope, those are the things that your family keeps no matter what.
I don't know, maybe you'll have a China closet one day.
I keep telling myself that I am, like find a way to stage it so that, cause she had a lot of stuff, or she has a lot of stuff. So
yeah, I think that's all a very good idea. You can always have, I was gonna say a China cabinet again.
Yeah,
it sounds like you should get a China cabinet.
You get a lot of ideas.
Yeah,
you know where you could put stuff? I think it's just in a China cabinet. I actually
you know where else you could put it? A second China cabinet.
I actually have a thing where I don't want to own any China cabinets. I don't like them.
I don't not like them. I don't feel the need to have one because I'm not not a hoarder, but I'm not a collector of those types of things. My China cabinets would have like Lego sets built in.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. I would rather have display cases.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that.
Like we have like the cube shelves, right, that you get at Target. Like those are so easy to convert.
So still on display. We just don't need it in a thing where like nobody can ever.
Well, I just don't like the huge wooden bulky chest aspect of it.
It's super different when you live in like a castle and you have
even
to fill
then,
some space.
I wouldn't even want China cabinets there. I would still use like big stone pedestals.
You're right.
I'm sorry, display cases.
That's all I could think of at the time.
China cabinets are ugly.
So you've been packing up. I helped a little bit. I dumped some things in a dumpster and hauled some things.
We dumped even more.
I then went and had lunch with my boyfriend and his brother.
It was more like dinner now.
Well, I mean, it was a really early dinner. It was like 3 when we ate.
I always forget, or I talk about still when dinner time was at 5 o'clock, and
every day
how by 7 I was always hungry again,
and then getting scolded for wanting to eat again, and I'm like, but it's been like by the time it's like 9:30 and I'm ready for bed, I'm like, I want a snack.
I don't think we ever got scolded.
I did. You're hungry again?
That's not scolded. Okay. That's underhand making fun of you.
Well, you can cut that out. What else have you been up to?
Well, I think we'll talk about what we're drinking today to start. So today we have Pantown Brewing. Obviously, them in Bad Habit have been frequenting the episode often. So today we're drinking their boysenberry sour.
It's really good.
It is. I've been seeing sours pop up more and more, and I'm seeing them in places I didn't expect, like in Pine City. And I'm like, damn, get ahead of it. But I'm also seeing some of my friends like up north in Ely where they never drink craft beer ever, drinking sours. And I'm like,
it's a good beer,
But now there's a huge issue where craft breweries are still, they're being hit hard by the pandemic, and they were getting hit hard beforehand with just their inability to sell in certain ways because of liquor laws.
Yep.
So I'm still heavily trying to support them in the best way. But now a whole bunch are in like the local liquor stores too. And what happens when they get there? Then you're like, do I stop supporting you because now you got good enough to make
to be in a liquor store? Yeah, that is the battle always of supporting a startup or a small business of any kind. Is when you're not small, do I still?
Yeah, and
But
I'm like,
yes, the answer is yes, because I was one of your.
yeah,
I was one of
and
your
hopefully
people.
I've still been with you, obviously. So
Yeah.
you've been a good brand.
Yeah, if I've been with you for that long, then I'm clearly not going to leave you just because you
Right.
got.
But hopefully by this time I've invested in your company, because now if you're a big name store, you're making mucho.
Mucho. Maybe, probably.
So that's what we're drinking. Yeah, we'll start by talking a little bit about what we've been doing for ourselves and what's been entertaining us, and then I got some topics to talk about today.
Oh, I brought show and tell stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So go ahead, and why don't you tell me what you've been doing for yourself over the past week?
Not a lot has changed because I'm just getting through the work day and living my daily life. But I got a kitchen table, which is nice. And then we had dinner at the kitchen table last night, which was also very nice, and turned off all the TVs and there was no rule to like put your phone down, and I kept being on mine, so I turned it upside down and put it on the chair. I was like, man, I don't really need to be on it right now.
We recently started eating at the table that's behind the couch. We never ate at a table.
It's better for your back.
That is 100% why we did it.
When you eat. Also, like, what was I gonna say? Oh, it's nice to eat at the table so the dogs can't get in your business all the time. Which your dogs aren't bad, and neither is my dog. But she when we were sitting at the table, she didn't know what to do because she knows not to jump on your lap if you're at the table. So, what else? Oh yeah, we've just been trying to eat a little bit better. Last night I did make poutine, but I made pulled pork poutine.
And you want to tell everyone what poutine is?
Yeah,
for those who don't know.
I'm definitely gonna in a second. I just had a hiccup. Well, it's like fries. It's French fries, gravy, and cheese curds.
It's delicious.
It's super delicious. So I'm gonna start doing like a what did I cook pretty soon, because I've been cooking a lot lately, but I've been mastering like a pork shoulder in the crock pot. And this time I took and I used a apple plum sauce that I made like a couple weeks ago, and I needed to get rid of it. So I dumped that in with my normal special sauce mixture for pulled pork, and I made that, and I put that on top of the fries. And then I bought and prior to that, I bought an air fryer so that I could have the crispiest of fries. Yeah, which I've already used the air fryer 3 times since last night. So
I love my air fryer.
I wish I would have waited to warm up the egg rolls until I had that.
They're so good, and that's what I remember when
I love food.
I remember when my buddy was like telling me about getting an air fryer and how I needed it, and that's totally what he said to me. He's like, the best thing was being able to bring home leftovers, like French fries or egg rolls or wontons, and heat them back up without them getting soggy.
Crispy.
And I was like, sold. You just said reheat wontons, sold. 100%.
100%. I reheated some some cheesy hash browns, hamburger helper. And that stuff doesn't usually get very crispy because it's saucy, but I put it in the air fryer, and
then it turns into like
there's
hash.
A PD over here. It was crispy and delicious. It was the best hash browns. The only place who's ever made the best, crispiest hash browns has been Toby's.
No way. Well, I don't know if
I've never. Yeah,
if you ever had the stuffed hash browns at Britain's up in Ely. Those were
we didn't go to a single restaurant.
Phenomenal.
I've only been to Ely just the one time.
Well, you had Sergi's.
You're right. I did. Okay.
Which is also delicious.
It was delicious. My apologies.
And we definitely went to Steakhouse, which is good because they got the Bucky burgers.
We didn't go to Steakhouse. You and Dad went to Steakhouse. I didn't come with Dad. Dad dropped me off. Then he came back and got me. Or no, you brought me or something. Anyhow, so been cooking a lot of really delicious food because as much as I will order out still, I'm not 100. Like I went to a patio scene the other day and that was nice, but I'm not 100% sure I'm ready to go into a sit-down restaurant yet.
Yeah, because it's still Rona season, still ordering out, but it's nice again. So we've been grilling a lot.
That's what we
have the luxury of doing that. So grilling is like the closest I feel like I get to almost that like eating out, just because I'm getting like the fresh air like I would on the patio.
Sure.
So yesterday we had the dry rub chicken wings, which was it was like a spicy barbecue dry rub that I made, which was super delicious. So I'll be doing that again 100%.
Yeah, I have for sure. I'm gonna like make some street tacos out of this leftover pork.
Yep, that would be delicious.
I've got some salad stuff
or
too.
Again, like amazing. You could use that slaw and make pulled pork sandwiches. Which
Yeah,
are my
yep,
favorite.
yep. The other idea I had was I've got some pita bread left, and I was like, a flatbread pulled pork pizza would be really good.
Yep, you could do like a barbecue pork pizza. That would be
I
great.
should start some side content going where it's like tasty videos, but it's me making my dinner. So what have you been doing for yourself lately, or what have you been continuing to do? Because as we do this every week, I keep going, listen, I'm trying to find new ways to love myself, but I like my routine, so I don't want to keep telling you guys about the same things I keep doing, but
I definitely try in every week, or at least like, because I rotate, right, what I'm doing because I have so much going on. So like this week I usually talk about Animal Crossings because I always try and make time for Animal Crossings.
which I should too.
But I'm in my last week of this class before next month is my last class for graduation.
Woo!
So excited. And this class was wonderful because it was just a portfolio building class. So all I was doing is revising a final script so that I can submit that in my portfolio, and not a lot of heavy lifting. So that's given me some time, obviously, back in my personal life, but I've been spending it trying to get this house packed and clean.
Which is okay because you can have a nice personal life in your beautiful new house.
Well, yeah, exactly. And for me, cleaning is 100% cleansing. I don't want to move into our new house with a whole bunch of junk. So I'm glad that we're gonna. I heard that.
Yep, everybody pause 1 sec here. Just came unplugged, that's all. Okay, I'm gonna move it farther away so I stop touching it. But also, you guys, this is the third mic stand I've tried tonight. Oh, and there went my headphones. Okay, it's all good now. Thanks.
Are they fixed?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. So I found a new trick on Animal Crossings about catching sharks. And though I still haven't caught a shark, I did catch a ribbon eel, which has been the most fascinating thing ever. And then I also finally caught last night, laying in bed as Pat was sleeping, it's called like the artist moth or something. It's a huge moth that covers the whole tree trunk. And I've been trying forever to catch it, and I finally snuck up on it just right. Caught it last night and I cheered and woke
That's
Pat
awesome.
up.
I haven't been playing enough to know that there's all these special things you can collect.
I like the game. Pat said the other day he came across a post that was just like extravagant Animal Crossing islands, and he was like, people can do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, if you can play enough. And so now I have like 4 money trees that each produce.
Which, can I come over and like,
no,
is there any way to harvest? Like,
don't take.
Yeah, but give me one if I plant. No. How did you grow a money tree?
I don't want to tell money? You. No.
I'm going to plant money.
There's only a special way to do it, though.
Fine, I'll figure it out on my own, but you're rude.
You just Google it.
I know, that's
I'm
why
not going to tell all these people.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey. But there's a trick to getting a money tree, and if you YouTube it, then they'll tell you in like 4 seconds. But I'm not going to because I'm rude.
You're not rude. You are saving me from you're not saving me from, you're saving me the experience.
Yeah.
But also, how do you plant that money tree?
Aside from Animal Crossings.
But that's what's been entertaining you.
Yeah.
What you been doing for yourself? That's what I asked, because I haven't done what's been entertaining me. I've got show and tell.
Oh yeah, what I've been doing for myself is totally different. So
no, you can keep telling me about your other stuff.
No, that's okay. It's backwards. What I've been doing for myself. So I'm finally back on my yoga routine, which has been great. Good. And then Pat and I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, we haven't gone to the grocery store in about 2 weeks since before we went camping.
Also been a while since I've been.
And so it was like, it's ridiculously stupid how fast you can get off track with healthy eating, especially when you don't have the food in your house. So we finally went to the grocery store and prepped ourselves to have some good food. And because we're cleaning everything, we cleaned out all the junk out of the shelves.
Good.
And so, and then too, when we move, hopefully we don't have to move a whole bunch of stuff, but I threw away like 6 boxes of cereal that had like 1 bowl poured out of them, and then I never ate anymore, and it's probably because the milk went bad, or I wasn't able to have cereal for like 4 days in a row,
right? And
you're like,
just forgot about it or something.
So
I don't buy cereal anymore because I never eat it.
Back on track with the good breakfast, back on track with my yoga routines, which have been great. And then Pat and I have finally started talking, which I told you earlier. We finally started talking about wedding planning,
Woo.
which is good just to get the momentum going.
Yeah.
So we don't forget that has to
That
happen.
that you guys are still trying to get married.
Oh yeah, shit. It's been like 6 years.
It'd be cool though
Do
if
we get married
if you
now?
got a house with some land and you just got married
Yeah,
on your own
that's-
land.
We keep talking about that, and I'm like, either way. I was like, but then Pat's like, no. He's like, I don't want to have really nice land and then have a whole bunch of people come and wreck it because we
Yeah,
get
that's
married
true
on it.
too. But
I don't
you
wanna
can
have
put
trash.
plywood and stuff down, you know.
Yeah,
It's just like better than having everyone try to drive some really far out somewhere. And
yeah, but that's kind of the thing we're going for, so that
yeah,
that you got to
true.
drive and you camp. And if you're not gonna camp, you're still only an hour away from
right.
where
I got it. Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's always super fun to do wedding planning stuff. I haven't looked at any of those Pinterest boards in a few years. I'd probably pull them back out and be like, hey, remember when we were talking about
Yeah, no
this?
doubt. Well, now we have all those mason jars I was talking about. So get ready for mason jar DIYs.
Go trap 1,000 lightning bugs.
All right, what did you have for show and tell?
I can do this. I got these new comics.
That's right. That's right.
And I found them at this comic book shop in the Twin Cities called like College Comics or College Place or something. I don't know. Maybe it says it on here. It doesn't. But it was like it was one of the biggest comic book shops I'd been in. Like they had the biggest collection of things, and they had all these dollar comics sitting out, and these aren't those, but I bought like 23 of the dollar comics because they're the Brothers Grimm ones that I like so much, but they're like they're retold. And the illustrations are all really sexy and they've got giant boobs, and you're like,
always.
I found a bunch that I didn't know existed, like Sleepy Hollow and the
Sleeping
Jungle
Beauty.
Book and the Sleeping Beauty one. No, Snow White. No, the Jungle Book. It was the Jungle Book, and it was because I thought that was weird too. I was like, the Jungle Book isn't but it could be Tarzan, and they're calling it the Jungle Book because it's not the Grimm brothers, right? You know, whatever. I'll look at that. I'll get back to you guys. But I did find these ones because I was like, ABCD. They had all the drawers, and Archie Universe. Like,
are these Archie horror though?
Yeah, these are Archie horror from Archie Universe.
Yep.
So I just found these and I haven't seen them before, and I was able to get 1, 2, and 4, but they're called Blossoms 666.
I love Cheryl's spin-off stories.
Yeah, and it's Cheryl and her brother
Jason, her twin brother.
And the covers are really super cool. And you know, I only saw the 666 and just right now in this moment actually realized it was the Blossoms. So I'm geeking out really hard because this cover is lit.
Yeah, Cheryl totally has this whole deal about like Satanism and to get Jason back after he dies, and then their special powers as being twins. I love the Blossom
That's
twins.
really awesome. So I found these, and Archie Horror is taking all these new spin-offs, and so our comics are really cool. Like you know, because you can have so many different timelines and storylines happening from different illustrators and writers. But go check your local comic book store or the Archie Universe website because they have so many new ones. I don't know how to explain to you guys like exactly what it's about.
There's a lot happening in the comic world there's a lot happening, in the comic world right now because there's this huge shift with indie comics really starting to gain traction, and it has a lot to do with how some of these bigger name comics work with their publications and their rights to their stories and everything. But with digital production too, and the like
it's becoming easier to produce comics.
Yeah, it's way easier to produce. And if you are someone who reads comics in a digital format,
I like Webtoon.
Yeah, it's even crazier what you can ingest on a daily
access. Yeah,
I really am excited. Pat was like, we talk about it too. You know, what am I going to do when I'm done with school? And it's like, I'm going to fucking read.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend so much time reading books and comics and everything I wanted to read before that I couldn't because I was too busy reading stuff for school.
Yep.
I still learned great things and I love it, but I really need to put
that's why
knowledge.
I have 36 new single issue comics sitting on my counter right now.
I read, I mean, when I took my comic writing class, we had to read, 5 comics a week. It takes nothing to
Yeah, I could read 5 comics a night.
Yeah, you could easily read that much, so it doesn't take a lot. But to write a comic, that's a whole fucking
that is a
different
whole
battle.
different story. So that's part of what I've been doing to entertain myself. That's,
oh my god,
that's mostly it, but not mostly it. I went to the cities and we went to Loring Park and saw some buddies play some live music, socially distancing. It was really the music was really a nice time.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to talk that I watched Lady Bird.
Yeah,
finally.
I was gonna remind you about that.
I've been wanting to watch Lady Bird forever. I was almost scared to watch it because I knew that it was just gonna be one of those things that makes you cry because it's very like hit you in the feels, hometown kind of thing.
Yeah.
For those of you out there who haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Wonderful acting, wonderful screenwriting. Had me bawling, but in a good way. Nobody dies, so that's great.
That's always nice.
Yeah, it's always good when you go into a movie knowing no one's gonna die, but
it's always
so I can finally
feeling.
check that off my list of things that I watched. But now I'm definitely gonna dive more into her work.
I have a lot of movies that I want to watch. Oh, Lisa introduced me to How to Get Away with Murder, and I'm obsessed with that.
Yes. Obviously, true crime remains a trend.
It will forever because
I don't think it's going to go away.
Because nobody will ever understand a psycho sociopath murderer. Nobody will ever be able to understand them unless you are one. So it's interesting to constantly listen and hear about them.
Yep.
It's why you're interested in anything, is because you want to know more about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well,
that's literally the definition of interest.
Yeah, we all like a closure too. So with true crime, I don't think
not all the time though.
I was gonna say I don't think it's often. They do every once in a while throw in an unsolved crime, but I think if they consistently threw in unsolved ones, people would stop watching because they don't get that closure.
Well, that's BuzzFeed Unsolved, and I watched it all.
BuzzFeed Unsolved doesn't focus just on true crime, does it, though?
They have sections of it.
Right.
But there's also like so there's a couple different podcasts. I'm just saying there's definitely
like cold cases.
There's
those
definitely
are cold
people who like
files.
everything. Yeah, so it's like their specific interest actually is the cold cases.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because that's why there's 100 different shows that all cover all of it.
Yeah.
I've been craving Criminal Minds lately. I thought I might turn that on.
Is that still running? I think so. Maybe
I don't know if it's still running, but I really like to watch the old reruns.
I know that like none of the OG cast is there anymore.
Matthew Gray Gubler is my favorite. I can't say it right.
He's not on there.
That's fine. You don't know. You know. I don't know.
I was like, I just said that's what I almost none of the original cast is on it anymore.
Yeah, that's why I said I want to watch
Fez
reruns.
on it now. Fez is like the main guy
on Criminal Minds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder if he still says crazy catch lines.
I don't think he does because
taglines,
I don't think that's his persona anymore.
I wonder if he still has crazy catchphrases.
So I wanted to talk about
excuse me while I check my phone because I forgot we were recording. I'm so sorry, you guys.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the post office because we had the conversation the other day and it made me think about a few things in terms of, so I don't know if anyone remembers, but like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, all the shit went down where the post office was under attack because Trump said he was going to stop. He wanted to stop funding the postal service.
He wanted to defund the post office
because he wanted them to charge more
to ship, which isn't even, none of that money would go to him anyway. Why would he want to charge? Why? And then punish them for
exactly. And so you and I were talking on a completely different case about it in terms of crime.
I was like, how do I get my packages?
Yeah, because I needed to know how mailmen and mailwomen get into apartments
that don't have buzzers.
Because obviously Michaela lives in an apartment that doesn't have a buzzer.
I got a package the other day and I was like...
So we were finally informed after a long question that we've been harboring.
Long-standing question.
I don't know why we didn't just Google it. That postal carriers have like a skeleton key.
Are we allowed to tell people?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. But it's only for their certain area, right?
Yeah.
So
And only for participating apartment complexes. But if they don't participate, I believe they have to have a way for them to buzzer an office for them to leave at, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like
And
there's certain requirements.
most apartments have a double door, right? So the mailbox is on
The outside.
Yeah, you still can only get in the first door, and the second door has a different
But
key.
you still need like a somewhere for packages to go, not just mail.
And that's completely different. So if you need packages to be delivered, so that was the other thing. So I asked, because we were talking about Amazon is what brought this whole thing up with me, is so you defund the postal service, right? Say the US Postal Service shuts down completely. Then who takes over? Is it just
private institutions?
Then is it just private institutions? So like, where does that leave Amazon, who relies heavily on the postal service, because UPS and FedEx and all these other things, they do charge more to ship through them.
Well, and also considering, not to interrupt, but considering international mail.
Well, right.
Could you imagine? I mean, you pay a small fine right now through the USPS to do that.
Thinking about what would have happened had they been defunded before Rona season hit.
And we had to ship all this
where we
PPE.
Started shipping everything in general just because no one could shop in the
you're
stores.
Right.
So everything we were getting was shipped
he was
to
trying
us.
To do that during the this was all happening, and that was like the reason why. Was it not one of the reasons he brought it up? Was he was using, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe,
I'm not sure.
I thought, I was under the impression it was like in the middle, not in the middle, in the very beginning of the pandemic start was when he started fighting the USPS on it. And it seemed to, maybe I just made that connection way sooner, because it seemed to me that he was trying to say, hey, because we're going to start having to ship everything, we need to charge more.
Right.
Because we're going to make more money off of it. And if they're not going to charge more, then we shouldn't even worry about them.
Yeah, because then they're going to be in debt and they're not trying to get their self out of it.
That was the, right. And that was the only thing I ever found on it that even made a remote pinch of sense, because why else would you defund something that you have no financial gain from, literally has no negative impact?
And it's like,
because I'm thinking in Trump's eyes, you guys, when I say no financial gain, I'm thinking about why he would have done it.
And let's talk about the fact that UPS and FedEx, granted, they deliver your packages, but they don't deliver your mail. So now
I have to ship my mail in a box. Like, I don't understand.
And there's plenty of people
just kidding. I know
how do I get my medicine? How do I get my bills? How do I send my bills?
Well, now let's think again about how hard he is showing his ableism.
Right, like to try and shut down the fucking postal service.
There are people who get every single part of their life delivered because they are any form of disabled.
Yeah.
And you're trying to take that free service for the most part away from them, and or charge them more.
Nobody pays for a subscription to the mail.
No.
Like, that's why we pay for stamps.
That's why we pay for stamps. And again, you're trying to charge more for it. And it's like, there's no point, there's just absolutely there was no point to it. I can't think of a single thing to argue.
I think we were just, and I think he was just obviously looking for more things to cut. And so
it was you're right, it was a budget thing.
And so the postal service was already, because we had to make money for whatever.
But he was trying to tell them to charge more, to pay more for themselves.
Yes.
Like kind of like pay your way in the government.
Exactly. Like,
that's some bullshit.
If you're not going to charge more to make the money you need, why should we fund you?
Okay, well, so that at least is not sensible, but that has a path to follow.
Like, I can see
the start to finish.
I can see the start to finish.
It's stupid, but at least it's more than just saying.
Like, it doesn't seem as much like he's trying to say, I need you to make me more money. I'm not taking advantage of you, but it is. But it's still stupid, right? Because we will provide billions and billions of dollars to bail out companies.
That's what I was just gonna say. How about instead of making them pay more, charge them less?
Yeah,
to be a part of your system.
Bail out the fucking postal service before we bail out Delta Airlines. Like, that's what I don't understand. So I don't know how it happened, but I got so fired up all over the fucking postal service because I was just like, how crippling. So we talked by the last few episodes we've been talking by vote by mail.
Yeah.
So what would happen if there's no mail and we couldn't vote by mail anymore? It's these I think for me it's these little things that I hear
they're
him
the
say.
steps. They're the small steps he's taking.
Those are the small steps you take to cripple a society,
and everyone's just ignoring him because he does something else stupid to
that
distract
is so
it.
extravagant. And I mean, how can you focus when you
Right.
have psychotic things like
blame.
human civil rights being inflicted upon every day? But you need to focus on these
You
things
have to do it all.
Yeah, and that's why it's important, right, for everyone to pay attention together. We need people paying attention in March. That's why it's good to give your support to the right people.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I've been preaching is to be willing to learn, because even if you someone tells you you're wrong or hey, educate like me about not knowing about the mail stuff or like the reasoning behind it, what have you. I just wish I'm being an idealist. I just wish that everyone would be a little bit more caring, careful, and logical in making decisions.
I want us to be mad about like why.
I want us to logically be angry.
Right, like why small business can get away, or a huge business can get away with paying employees $9 an hour.
Or let's talk about redlining districts shutting down their DMVs so that their population has to drive 50 miles out of town with no driver's license to get a driver's license so that they can vote, because in those cities you can't use your state ID to vote. You have to have a federal driver's license or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not very good with sex of government, but you understand my point. It's just so frustrating. Like, how is everybody not know, or maybe everybody is. I'm getting frustrated because I'm noticing all the small things taking place that are going to cause us to crumble.
I think American society is starting to notice these. Obviously, you can see it blowing up on social media.
That's why I've been trying not to say things with blame lately.
And it's just action. It's the right way to take action.
Yeah.
So though I love going on social media and I love seeing the support and the posts and the info that's shared, I do hope that the people who are able are donating where they can, calling where they can,
or if you're willing, running when you can,
and volunteering, where you can be. And I understand, like, I don't want to push anyone to run for any kind of office.
That's what I said. If willing and able,
like. But we obviously before talked about, and I think we could do like a whole episode on voting itself in the Electoral College and where things start getting.
It would be fun to do an educational. This is how, no bias anywhere. This is structurally how the system is built and works right now.
Yeah, and
I don't know the half of it.
And then everyone, you get a chance to realize like where you have power within your own community to take charge, because again, you'll hear it everywhere right now. It's like, it's your district attorneys.
We should consider getting like a
court judges. Like, do you know who your
school district?
Do you know who your local court judge is? Do you know who runs your school board for? If you're a parent,
I think it would be interesting to consider for us for this to maybe reach out to like a professor of civics or something around St. Cloud State, since we have it to our opportunity and they're not doing a lot right now.
I'll say it out loud. I don't like St. Cloud State professors.
Yeah, but you've never met every single one of them. And I know somebody who swears by the educational system at St. Cloud State and was there for an extended period of time. So
that seems like an oxymoron, right? Because they were there for an extended period of time.
Well, because they got their associates, bachelors, and masters there. So, I'm just saying it would be an interesting thing, or maybe not from state, wherever, from anywhere, but just to have a little perspective on what is. I would like to hear a professional's opinion on how the world is working right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. If you are a professional and you would like to tell me how the world is working right now.
I don't even know if a professional can tell you how it's working, but they can tell you what
should be.
Yeah, or what it was built to work as, right?
Yeah.
This is what is
I just want to be learned a little bit, because as much as I can read a book over and over, and read many books, it's nice to have a conversation.
I mean, when
about
voting first, when the election happened,
it is almost Women's Equality Day too, so we should well, not almost, but it's coming up, so we should plan for that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Plenty of videos were coming out about the process of voting, what it looked like state by state. Remember when Jennifer Lawrence did that huge video? And again, I want to ask how many people go to the ballot and they only know the one thing they're voting for, but there's 6 other boxes on there, and you have no idea what you're checking, and that unfortunately is where your vote really does matter. And so you really need to educate yourself on those small things. Pat talks about it. He gets so upset about St. Cloud because, excuse me, when we drive around town, there's so many disheveled buildings, there's so many empty concrete areas, and all he wants is for that shit to just be ripped up and turned into a public parking area.
Oh, we made it pretty far.
Company's finally here. He'll leave. So, but that's where it is, right? And so when you get mad, why is my city not doing anything about this?
Right.
It's like, well, what do you know about who's in charge of your city? And can you tell me what they've done in their time here to prove that they're worth coming back again another 2 years, another 4 years? There are some people that get to sit in office for like 13 fucking years because they just run opposed without any questions.
Unopposed.
What did I say?
Opposed. Oh. I also have a newer frustration with the going in. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to learn much more about that before I even state how I'm feeling about it. So, make sure that you are voting. That's yes. What we just went over. We went over voting, and we went over making sure to educate and be willing to listen.
Did we talk on the last episode about...
I was just trying to think of something.
All the fraud that was going on with unemployment. So there's talks again that a second stimulus check is coming, which will be interesting to see because every country is really treating it different. Some countries are paying out 2 weeks for anyone who's been affected by unemployment for coronavirus. Here we got one stimulus payment, but you are able to apply for support in different areas, whether it's via unemployment or mortgage assistance. But what happened is when all these stimulus checks and PPP loans came out, they saw banks nationwide saw a huge influx in both unemployment fraud and lovers in relationship fraud, where people are lying, right? I'm your new boyfriend, I'm your new girlfriend.
And taking the stimulus money.
And they're taking their money. Yeah. So I've been hearing, like I said, that this unemployment and this lovers fraud is on the rise. And we had an issue before we always concerned about when all this shit started happening, that we told like our grandma, like, don't, way back when they were scamming people by calling and saying I'm your grandson or I'm your son, and I'm in prison or I'm in a hospital and you need to send me money, et cetera, et cetera. Now the same thing is coming back, and it's people know you're getting your stimulus check, and it's either the cash your check and send me, Walmart cards or
iTunes gift cards.
Yeah, you send me this much and I'll send you this much back. And my heart breaks for vulnerable people who don't know and maybe in a position where they do fall for these scams. And I just think it's like so important to like feel okay to hang up a phone, and then call back to the number you would assume, right? So, hey, I'm in jail. Where are you in jail at? Click, call that police office or that
office back,
right? Yeah, and be like, do you have
not
so
the same
and so
number? Like, exactly. It's very important to educate your family, friends on this too.
And in this, because we're in this time, there are some people too who are learning how to use computers for the first time, right? And so they have no idea what a fucking pop-up window looks like, or that if something says it's free but then it asks you to put in a card number at the end, you're 100% that's not free anymore then.
You don't need your card number for freebies.
But we definitely talked about it at work, and it just broke my heart just a little bit. Well, a lot of it, because there's so many people right now who are relying on unemployment and who are relying on their stimulus checks.
Yeah, and to scam people out of that money is the worst thing.
And it's like as if we're not already dealing with enough in midst of, a human rights movement, a pandemic, and now we straight up have to worry about a huge influx in fraud. And these people were able to fraud unemployment. They like they're literally frauding the federal government, which is like, it blows my mind. At again, like, it really makes you think about the system.
Yeah, the
as
system
someone
that's
who
built.
as someone who had to be in a position as children where our parents had to rely on the system, like, I know the amazing benefits it can do for family to
Who
get them,
needs it?
who
Yeah.
needs it, and it can get them in a place to finally succeed.
I am all for
It breaks my
it.
fucking heart to see people abuse it, because
Yeah.
it's when anything is abused like that, that's when we lose it, and that's where we start getting this fucking animosity from shithole people who are like, you know, why should I give welfare to you when I work my ass off
Yeah.
40 plus hours a week and you
And
don't
it's like,
do
because
shit?
you should care about other human beings.
Yes,
that's why.
And
And
so,
we have rules in place to make that happen because you don't care about
well,
human beings. That's why.
right.
He's
And
the shitty person in my situation.
so I hope, and this, like, the whole reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm thinking more about the mask scenario, the decency to wear a mask, even knowing if it does help, it does help. If it does help, you're saving someone's life. If it doesn't help, who cares?
Yeah,
right?
your face is a little
you're
warm.
a little bit inconvenienced, and
you're not even.
And you probably had to wear it for 45 minutes in a grocery store.
I just get so frustrated because you can don a hat in the winter and take a hat off when you get inside. That means you can don a mask when you get inside and take it off when you get outside.
Exactly.
It's not hard.
And I don't know where this, like, my rights are infringed upon. I love what our buddy said when he's like, most stores require you to wear clothes, but they don't give those to you. So, and you have no problem wearing those out in public. So,
and would be upset if somebody else wasn't.
Yes, 100%.
That's the thing.
And so it's just like, it tracks back to this. I don't understand when we really hit that switch of giving other people rights takes away from my right.
Yeah.
Where that really started coming in, like, anytime I have to help someone else, that must mean that I took away from myself.
Yeah, that must mean I had to inconvenience myself to do it.
I am at this point where I'm like, if everyone could just step back. Yeah, here again with your idealist.
I was just gonna say, now you're a hippie.
Yeah, if I could have everyone just step back for 5 seconds and be like, how is it truly affecting me in a negative way to do these simple things,
like when
that will provide someone else a healthy, benefiting lifestyle?
If I have a very strong opinion that, like, if someone asks you to do something to protect them, or if someone asks you to stop doing something because it harms them emotionally, mentally, physically, that those things should just be attempted to be stopped or started.
Right.
So I understand that there are some things like, I don't know, I'm allergic to grass. Yeah, I won't come bring grass, or I won't ask you to make you come outside with me. Yeah. Those are things that are not controllable, but these are controllable things. They are PPE, personal protective equipment. And then on the other half of it, they are your actions and your opinions. You not using a derogatory term or not calling someone stupid for wanting to be safe on the other end of it. So both sides of the current events happening, it doesn't actually harm you or inconvenience you in any way. It actually takes more effort for you to do those things. Yeah. So when someone asks you to stop and your retaliation is, why should I stop? It's like, because it's actually an easier thing for you to do, to just stop. And I know that's very simple and like basic, but
with the incident the other day, where you just, you hear someone say something and there was no cause for them to say such hateful things and things.
It took effort to do it.
Yeah, it actually took you effort to produce those words at no trigger, knowing that someone would easily take offense to that.
And that's the thing, is there was no trigger. I very much understand heat of the moment yelling.
Yes.
Okay. But
We're
not when
I
don't think it should happen, but I can understand that it could happen. When you're unprompted, that's like,
yes. And
that's like a sucker punch, man.
In one of the last episodes, we talk about learning hate as a child and the unfortunate ways in which most children are learning hate before they're actually learning what love is, and how scary it is to see that and to hear that. And I the same thing is happening for adults all around us consistently, and I think some adults now too are also learning hate that very much were about positive things, but they become so negative because they're so tired of battling. It's, I'm tired of explaining to you how you're racist. I'm tired of explaining to you how what you're saying is a straight infliction of someone else's human rights.
I'm hoping that the and again, I hate categorizing in a generation, but the people, I'm hoping that the people you're talking about snuff out the ones who just aren't going to stop.
Yeah.
Because again, it's demoralizing and it's off-putting to feel yourself just want to. I don't want to try to educate you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want. You're not going to change your mind. It's to feel defeated like that.
Yeah,
it's
and I
so
know I'm like,
hard all the time.
I want for those of you fucking out there who are standing up every day to your family and to your friends,
keep doing it, because we're gonna keep doing it alongside you. And we know it's hard.
It's exhausting, but it's even more exhausting for people of color, for the LGBTQIA plus community. This is their life, and they're consistently like
they're going to lose a lot more than a friend or a family member. They shouldn't
have to explain their rights.
They shouldn't have to fight for any of this.
Yeah, they don't even have time to explain their rights because they're too busy trying to stay alive.
I saw the worst I'm sure everyone has seen the video circling social media that starts with the woman of color getting pushed around in the crowd by veterans.
Yeah.
By people we were taught to respect growing up no matter what, pushing a young woman around, and she smiles as she gets shoved around, and it's just like how, and of course it flashes to throughout history of similar situations, and you can't help but start to cry because it's like I would never, I would fight for that woman if I saw something like that happen. And to see people that I was taught to respect, even people older than me or what have you, just totally doing everything I was taught not to do, but then doing it like, no, I hate nothing more than a hypocrite.
Well, and it's, again, like you said, I was taught to respect you. I'm taught to respect my elders. I was taught to respect
everyone.
And so
but then I'm seeing you not do it.
To watch you blatantly cause harm, cause pain, cause a fucking unprompted because for some reason they trigger.
Oh, I should say maybe it was prompted in your eyes, but unfairly prompted. There's no reason.
I'll consider
because they have more. What is it? Melanin or what's more? When your skin is darker, literally because of a chemical in your body. So I can't. And that is just that one, again, just the one part of the thing happening of things happening in the world right now. Then we go back to Rona, which is supposed to come back full force ×2 in the fall, when most places are anticipating hoping to get back. And it's like now, hopefully, as I'm seeing internally in places that I work for and affiliate with, they're not making those plans at this point. They've heard, they are anticipating and making the right moves. I had a thought the other day that the restaurants that have opened back up, as you make money wherever you can, please be prepared to be shut back down. You need to keep your fundraising going. You need to make sure that you're fucking charging per table if you can. I know that that's shitty for consumerism, but consumerism is too hard to maintain when you're just trying to stay alive right now. So please keep your eyes and ears open.
And I think that's the important,
as a business, stay alive as a business.
The important thing too to really look at here is, yes, it's important for businesses to take a little bit of action. They're gonna have to.
Are you going for, but consumers should do more?
No, I'm going for, but it's unfortunate that we live in a government who couldn't provide a safe haven for both people and businesses suffering from a pandemic.
And something that barely at all for either of them.
Yeah, something that is completely, that it wasn't completely beyond our means once we've found out how to try and slow the spread. So for those of you, again, we'll go back to the masks who aren't wearing them. But we had systems and precautions. You're happily the reason. Yeah. And I hope I hear none of this bullshit if we do have to shut down again and people are pissed. And I'm like, Can you honestly tell me you wore a mask the entire time you went
Yeah,
out? Because I
like-
know you fucking did it, and I'll pull up your Facebook posts that show you talking shit about having to wear a mask.
I also want to start seeing people's damn receipts after going out and eating at a restaurant. If you're not tipping at least freaking like 35% right now for servers that are having to come up and touch all of your shit after you've touched it.
No, it should all be, I'm not sure. Most places are making you either bring your own shit or it's all disposable. So then they just come
Good.
and
That's
at the end of the
positive.
table, yeah.
I again haven't been going out much. We went to the brewery. I didn't really get any food. So,
Yeah.
but I get nervous. So I'm just nervous, and I keep thinking of all these different things that can and are or may happen. And it's like, how are all the different ways we can start preventing things
Definitely. Well,
or helping things again? Because I should say this here. Let me start. I want to make sure that we continue to help along the way, because I don't see the financial things clearing up as soon as we all hoped.
no, not at all. I don't think they will either. I also don't think there's a solution for that because we as a society and as a government have so much other shit going on, and day by day by day people are starting to act as if corona is old news.
That's what I'm nervous
And yeah,
about.
we're treating it as if it's gone because it's summertime here and everyone had a cabin fever, and when summer hits in Minnesota everything's gone and we're outside and it doesn't matter. And so people are continuing that regardless of rules set in place. Obviously we took a huge hit with like the fairs. Okay, it's super shitty.
But I'm okay. I was talking with a friend about fairs in particular. We were acknowledging, I'll make this quick. We were acknowledging that we're glad that the fairs were canceled, because had they gone on, we would have been tempted to go.
Well,
we love them so much.
I think that the problem is that the fair food places are still out. And so what's any different than all those people standing in line in a parking lot versus all those people who would be standing in line at the fair? Like,
I guess it's like you're still comparing here like a crowd at a state fair compared to a crowd outside the 4 food trucks that they station, because they are stationing them out separately. I mean, these are privately owned trucks, the majority of them that are stationed. Those other shops within this, like the state fair in particular, those places are they're leased to the state fair. So unfortunately, that shit sucks the most, because the food and the fairs, it's all my favorites.
Yeah.
But I think I'm kind of over being upset about the things I can't do anymore, because do you know what I've been doing a lot of? Outdoors. I've been outdoors a lot more than most, and so I'm never gonna negate anybody's feelings, but me personally, I think I'm starting to be okay with like,
I definitely am okay with it because I know that it's the right thing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm not okay with is everyone's anger behind it, trying to justify the reopening of it, because again, it's only going to hurt us.
And that's kind of my end point there, is like, I'm not going to get on the other side of that. I'm not going to be mad that we are closing down when we do it again. I'm also not going to be mad that I need to wear a mask, probably for the rest of our lives while we're indoors.
Things are going to really change after this. We have talked about the fact that stores are probably going to consistently run now only at so much capacity.
Because why not? They're not. Yeah. I mean, the big box stores, they're not losing anything by cutting down. You know who I really like to commend is Target. I wish they would require masks, but so far, Target is still keeping a limit on paper products. They're spacing out. They're making sure all their stuff is on their floors. They're not counting capacity, but do you know who is counting capacity? TJ Maxx.
Yeah, lots of places are still counting.
I'm glad to see that people are persisting.
Yep, I hope that we can continue. I think that everyone needs to brace for the second wave that is inevitably going to come.
Yeah, that's my main
especially
point.
During the winter season. It's going to be different. Maybe because it is winter, it will be easier to stay inside again.
Like, there was still snow on the ground when this started, wasn't there?
It was
I know
March.
it's not the same, but yeah, maybe it's more like a. But I mean, look at the things that have already changed. Like, unfortunately for movie theaters, we've run into early releases straight to streaming services.
Yep.
The entertainment industry is taking a different kind of hit from this kind of stuff because of so for example, when you to dig into the entertainment industry, just because I've been working on some school assignments for it, when you run into an issue with like a house band at a club or something like that, that band is signed only to that club, and because of certain sites called ASCAP and their different royalty sites, those venues are actually not, they're written in a contract that those house bands can't stream, they can't play live music, they can't make any money outside. And even though the venue wants to help them and say, okay, cool, we'll stream from within the venue, you know, charge you XYZ, these royalty sites like ASCAP, they won't let you. So even though we as entrepreneurs, we keep coming up with all these great ideas that we can manage this socially distant system but still be entertainers and still get our crowds, our cheers, our excitement, because that's what you perform live for. I'm not a live performer, but I can live through other people's experiences. It's not been a fun ride. So I'm hoping that as this continues to go on, specifically for the entertainment industry, we can start to write some new rules for how the venues and the artists are allowed to interact with their music. I would like to focus on that some more maybe in the future, because it's a really interesting topic. But I wanted to bring that up because it's
definitely
crazy.
going to be hard because a bar in Florida is getting sued right now after like 30 young adults and 13 workers all tested positive for COVID because they opened the bar up to live music and they let everyone in and they didn't do any kind of anything.
See, and I will also commend those. I have gone and seen a couple live shows since we've opened back up to part capacity, and the places that I have been have done fantastic. It is only out on the porch. They make you pay for tables. They put every other table out, deck, whatever, patio. I know I said porch, so it's good. I'm happy to see things are managing and people are managing. I'm not excited to see what comes next, but I think that we are all going to get through it because we've managed to do it. I mean, there's not going to be much of a choice. You're just going to have to figure it out as we go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, hey, we did it. We made it another hour for you guys.
Did we have anything else? Because every time we end recording, we'll text each other and be like, we forgot about something.
I ain't got nothing else.
Okay, let's see. I don't either. All right.
Well, hey, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.